and people will be able to see us. So we'll say hi to everybody, and we got a couple minutes before we go ahead and get started. I don't. This might be something dangerous to say to both of you guys, especially. I think it was Andros, or I can't remember who said it, but I think you guys both agree. I don't have like a solid hard out, which I typically do with Caito. But like maybe we should like set like an expectation, like this could easily be 3 hours with you two. Like seriously, this very easily could turn into that.
Here's the thing though, you brought this on yourself. You invited both Seth and me, and you're talking about Xenoblade.
Yeah,
like right. Those. That's like a mixture for long form.
I think so.
4-hour podcast.
Yeah, I mean, even like both of us individually on We the GamerCast, I think each of you have had a longer than usual episode.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I think I'm invited on to set records.
Yes.
Welcome.
Actually, that's a good point. I like that, Andros, actually, because you can look back every 6 months or so. You can look and go, okay, so who was the longest since the last time you were on?
It was I think it's definitely been me. Maybe Seth topped it.
I just see how long Seth's
I don't want this
now.
to be a contest.
I don't know,
because I don't want.
Ours wasn't too bad. I feel like.
I don't think so.
I feel like ours was like an hour and a half. Or
we might have done
like
it on
that.
a Monday. I think we might have done it on a Monday, so that would have. Yeah. But I've moved it to Fridays now, so it's not a school night anymore.
We definitely had to we found ourselves kind of like cutting ourselves short. We could have easily done it for way longer.
That's right.
Like we ended up having to cut it short because it was just like, oh my god, we'll be here all night. There's so much.
Seriously. I think people can see us on our own YouTube page. I'm gathering because I feel like I didn't click a button, but it seems like everybody.
I found it through the
can
YouTube
see it.
page.
Okay, and we're up there and everything. I see the chat. It seems like there's like 14 different go live buttons I gotta hit, and really there's 2, but I've definitely screwed that up before we go live here. But so yeah, I don't know, maybe 90 minutes or so. We'll probably try to keep it to that if possible. We should probably get back to work at some point.
Hi y'all.
Got 12 people here. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. We're going to get started with the show. We're going to scream at these guys in just a quick second. We got everybody hitting the like button on the stream, and I'm excited, man. It's one of those things. Yes. It's unfortunate that Caito wasn't able to join us on the show. We'll get more into that in the show itself. But when one door closes, 2 windows open into Nintendo Land. I'm not sure.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Am I a window? I don't know what that means.
I don't know. Take it as a compliment, though.
Yeah. It's definitely taking it as a compliment.
Yeah. Seth, your like avatar or whatever, the drawing is just like the cutest damn thing ever.
Oh, thanks.
Like I want all of us drawn in that style, actually.
It's not actually even like I didn't even have anybody do it. It was like one of those online create your own, avatar or whatever. That's all that was.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna have to send me a link because I would really like to.
I'll find it.
I'd really like to do that.
I'll try to
find it. Okay. So many things here. I gotta make sure I at least got my show notes here because eventually we're gonna have to actually do an actual show. So I'll put that over here, and then I think we'll be ready to go, you guys. Whenever this happens, I always have to give Caito and Ryan like a huge amount of credit because now I get to do what they typically do, and they make it look really easy. And I'm gonna make it look real painful. Hopefully it all works.
And it's good because it makes it so everybody appreciates them even more than we already do.
I mean, Ryan gets enough. You
think he gets enough? I don't know, man. Ryan could always use. He's got so much on his plate, man. Ryan needs even more love.
I'm just
maximum
kidding.
Love.
Oh man, how about this for a surprise? Hey everyone, it's me, Sean Capri. I'm glad you're here because you're listening to the most wholesome Nintendo podcast on the internet. It's the Nintendo Drive. I'm on a Skype call with my friend Console. What? Where's Caito? I got Seth Sturgill and freaking Andros here, so jump on into the Nintendo Drive. Boom!
Here we go! Caito.
Oh my goodness gracious, I am here on the Nintendo Drive. Caito is not here, but I am joined by two of my favorite Nintendo podcasters on the internet, Seth Sturgill from All In and Andros from Nintendo Pals. It's a mega Nintendo crossover event. It's happening. Guys, how's it going? How are you? Hi. Hello. Don't be shy.
Yeah, do the Caito impression. The hi, Sean.
Hi, Sean. Oh, that was really good.
I can't meet up to her sauciness quota though. I'm just not going to be able to fill. I'm not going to be able to fill those shoes. But dude, I am so excited to be doing this. This is like the coolest thing, man.
Yes.
To have you, I get to hang out with you guys. This is sick.
There's a question. Andros, how are you doing, man? Before I jump into things, I'm very excited here. How are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, I am doing so great. Like I'm like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah.
Anytime I get to come onto a Sean Capri podcast, it's like when you meet a celebrity and you're like, I'm pretending to be really
too much.
cool.
That's too much.
And like, hey, I'm glad to be here. But inside, I'm like,
oh my goodness gracious. You guys, for the people who don't know you, we'll start back with Seth. Seth, tell us who you are for people who haven't met you, who don't know the greatness that is you. Tell all the people your podcast, where they can find you and all that good stuff, my friend.
Sure, yeah. So hi, I'm Seth. I am a Nintendo podcaster, independent Nintendo podcaster. I've been doing it for a long time. I'm one of the co-hosts of All In Nintendo Podcast, which is a weekly Nintendo variety show that I do with my good friend Eric. You can find us anywhere fine podcasts are distributed and listened to. It's at All In Podcast, ALL letter N, like Nintendo. Podcast on all the social medias. I also do a show called Keep Nintendo Weird, which is a weird Nintendo podcast about loving weird Nintendo games.
Nice,
and,
man.
I stream. I do all kinds of stuff. So yeah, that's the very short version.
We have a lot of good friends in the chat here as well, who I don't know if you're playing or not, Lachlan, but she goes, who is this Seth person?
Who is this
Seth?
the coolest guy on the internet.
Guys, this is unreal. Andros, how about you, man? You do a couple of things on the internet there, my friend.
I do a thing or two on the internet.
Yeah.
I am one of the co-hosts of Nintendo Pals podcast, and that is a show about Nintendo and friendship.
I love it. Where can people find you?
You can find us at Nintendo Pals everywhere. You just search Nintendo Pals, you'll find us. We're on YouTube. We're on Twitch. We do live streams of wacky gaming challenges and videos of that stuff, and a weekly podcast that covers news, rumors, what we're playing, and community submitted questions and topics.
I love it, man.
Me and my best friend Micah palling it up in Nintendo land.
When you say that you guys are all about friendship, I feel like you're coming directly at us as the most wholesome Nintendo podcast on the internet, but you're not going to take it over, man. I don't care. Like, we still got to keep up a rivalry. I'm glad to see you guys here, but we got to keep up a little shenanigans here.
There's got to be a little bit of a rivalry.
Mm-hmm. Listen, what kind of friendship do you think I have? Like, it's all but wholesome.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, if anybody is new, here's the deal. Every week here on the Nintendo Drive, usually it's me and Console Caito, but we talk about the news, we talk about what we're playing, we talk about questions that you guys have for us, and if you wouldn't mind, if you're not already, subscribe to us at youtube.com/Console Caito. She's on my mind. Carpool Gaming.
Subscribe to her there.
Subscribe, leave a comment, do all of that good stuff. I would really appreciate it. You can support us at patreon.com/Carpool Gaming. Get exclusive perks just like Drellish. Thank you. All the way coming in from Germany. Drellish, my friend, thank you so much for signing up at Patreon. And I'm going to jump right on in here, guys. We've got a couple of questions that we need to tackle right at the start. Quagmire on Discord says, do y'all plan to have more guests on the show? I loved when you had Justin Masson several weeks back. I think having even more people from other podcasts could help your podcast grow, in addition to whoever joins. Just a suggestion, as I love what you two do. P.S. I would totally listen to a PC/Steam Deck podcast from you and Caito as well. Well, guess what, Quagmire? You say it, and it shall happen. I have to admit, when I was hearing about some scheduling, maybe conflicts that were happening this morning, I'm like, I saw Quagmire's question, and guess what? Yes, we will do more crossovers. We're going to do double crossover. Seth and Andros are here. I love it. So there you go, Quagmire. Second question before...
As you wish.
Second question before we start. Ngachacha from Discord says, when are we getting a Nintendo Drive and RPG Cave collaboration for a special 3-hour episode on Xenoblade Chronicles 3? After all, this is an RPG dynasty and Nintendo savior after Mario Strikers. Well, not exactly an RPG crossover. However, That might still happen. This is why I tapped Mr. Seth on the shoulder and I said, hey, man, you played Xenoblade? So why don't we jump on into the playlist? Seth, have you played Xenoblade?
Oh, yeah. I have somehow, I don't even know how it's possible. The game came out, on Friday?
Yeah, man.
And I've somehow put
go.
16 hours into it
Oh,
already.
my gosh.
It's wild. It's wild. I don't know how it's possible, but I love it, dude. I'm so into it. And I'm a huge fan of the series anyway. And just like the timeline of this was I had started a playthrough back in May of Xenoblade Definitive Edition, trying to get that finished. I'd already played 2, loved it. So it's like, let's go back to 1. And I finished that the day before Live Alive dropped. And then I just mainlined Live Alive, did nothing but Live Alive until Xenoblade came out.
Wow.
And so now I'm all about Xenoblade. So it's just been RPG after RPG.
Don't burn yourself out, man. We're eating good, but you got to pace yourself here a little bit.
Well, I'm like No Face and Spirited Away, like all the food that's coming at him and whatnot. That's me right now with JRPGs. It's so good. I don't know if y'all have been playing it or not, but man, I am so into everything that they're doing. I love the story setup. That's the thing that I think I'm most impressed with so far is the story setup of it. I love this kind of narrative of and they've talked about this. I don't think this is spoilers. Just the base setup of having this culture, this society that is born and raised to fight.
Yes.
To fight and die. And that is your ultimate honor is to, you know what I mean? And there's something just really hardcore about that. And you start to think about it because that's, it's true to life in a lot of ways. And, and you start to unpack that. And all this stuff kind of around this fantastical JRPG world. I love it. The music is phenomenal. My goodness. Yasunori Mitsuda is my favorite composer of all time.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm on there.
Well, now I gotta obviously look him up. Before we get deeper into Xenoblade, because that's really what we're gonna be doing a lot today. Andros, what's the matter with you? Why haven't you played? I know that you haven't played it. Why haven't you played Xenoblade? And we're here to convince you otherwise, man.
I knew it. I knew that this was
it's a trap. It's a trap.
An intervention.
Yes. Because I can't do this with Caito. I can't really. I'll go you're not going to play it. It is what it is. But I think we can twist your rubber arm maybe a little bit.
I have had the Nintendo for a show hosted by 2 people that have not played Xenoblade Chronicles before. Our community is so into Xenoblade Chronicles, like crazy into it. Everybody loves it over at the Nintendo Pals Discord. It's super hyped. So I'm thinking of getting in on Xenoblade Chronicles 3.
Got him already. We didn't have to say anything.
Yeah, no. There's
an easy
no
sell, dude.
But here's the problem. I just don't have time right now, so I'm waiting until I have a break in the schedule.
It's not going to happen.
Maybe a couple 100-hour.
Yeah, just check the schedule for 100 hours to totally open up.
That's the problem. Mm-hmm. That's the problem. That's the problem with the whole series for me. It's I just can't commit to it at this stage in life.
I get it.
Could we jump into a time machine and give Xenoblade Chronicles to me 20 years ago? I'll have plenty of time.
Even March. Even March or April, just after, give us 20 hours after Kirby, could have been the weekend after Kirby. Then give us this, and we would have been fine. It would have rewritten their entire commentary on Nintendo for this entire year because I've been bitching, whining, and complaining until this moment. Just a little heads up, this is it for me, you guys. I have been waiting for this all year, and but man, what are you playing? If not Xenoblade, you're busy playing. You got to be playing something. You got that Mario Strikers. You keeping up the club over in Mario Strikers? What do you got going on, man?
We got to bring up sore spots.
Gotta bring that up.
No, I really haven't been playing Strikers. I have been playing a lot of games with my kiddos.
Oh, nice.
Spelunky is what my son is very into.
That's awesome.
Too. So we're playing a lot of Spelunky 2, and then I personally have been playing a lot of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild.
Yes, you have. Mm-hmm. The latest on Nintendo Switch. The latest game.
Listen, man, this week I streamed a challenge for that where I added a new punishment every 5 minutes. So, there was a point where, things got weird. I was playing the game upside down, controls reversed. At one point I was cosplaying as Daisy, and it's just this is the kind of stuff I do. I play the same games over and over again in new ways.
Yeah, this is a problem. This is a problem, Andros. Like, what I just heard you say is I have no time, but what you are doing is spending your time playing the same game for 1,000 hours. I mean, this is the same thing I could say to Caito, to be honest with you, but I don't.
I'm here representing the Caito for today. I'm not going to have much input on Xenoblade Chronicles.
Stubbornly locked to one game.
And I'm playing my one game. But Caito's pretty awesome, so I'm okay being.
Well, so are you. That's all right. This isn't.
As long as y'all are having fun,
you're just not as cool as the rest of us. We're playing the cool game. You guys are playing the old game. That's fine.
Listen. I actually am very excited to talk about Xenoblade Chronicles with you guys because I'm curious to see how this game is linking with the rest of the series.
Linking.
I am a very big nerd when it comes to lore in video games. So much so that even on games I haven't played, I know a lot because I read the wikis and the forums and this is what I do. I don't have free time, but I'm reading about it.
And just see Andros in bed, he's got his like sleeping cap on, but his iPad, he's just flipping through wikis and subreddits and whatnot. Quagmire in the Discord says, I'm absolutely loving Xenoblade 3, Sean and Seth. What are your thoughts, and will Caito and or Andros cave in to play it as well? Quagmire, I'm so happy to hear that you are loving it. Argo also jumps in from the Discord and says, I've never had an interest or played a Xenoblade game before, but this one piques my interest. Could you dive in and just try this one out with any knowledge of the franchise at all? That's what Andros just brought up. Seth, what do you think, man? Can you jump in right here, having not played any of the other games? What are your thoughts, dude?
Totally. Yeah, I think so. I think there's going to be... the thing about Xenoblade is, there's going to be some connective tissue that you're just inherently going to miss out on if you haven't played the previous ones, but it's not a requirement whatsoever. The characters are all different. Mm-hmm. The world itself, again, there's connective tissue, but it isn't the selling point.
Agreed.
Like, I have a lot of friends who have just dove straight in to Xenoblade 3, and they're not lost whatsoever.
Agreed.
They're not any more lost than the rest of us, I guess.
Exactly. That's one part you have to embrace in Xenoblade is you're gonna play. I think I saw Joey Splat say this. He was like, I'm 10 hours in and I have no idea what's happening, but that's fine. That's part of the deal. And even if you do pretend, if you fooled yourself into thinking you know what's going on in the first 10 hours or so, well, guess what? By hour 120, you're gonna think that's so cute. The part that you thought you had nothing, you didn't know what was going on in the beginning hours. It is a ride, dude. It definitely is, and I'm in that space now. I'm nowhere near where you are, Seth. I'm probably 3-4 hours into this thing, and definitely the premise itself is so drastic, and the stakes are so huge. It seems like these characters live for up to 10 years, but their lives are dedicated to battle, and it's like probably they're not gonna make it. They're probably gonna die on the battlefield because their people live off of the life force that is given up when they kill their enemies. Like, what is going on? That is so intense. And that is, as maybe you mentioned, that's probably one of the best hallmarks to the games is just the premises are just, they're so intense. It's like all or nothing. The first one was these two titans in an infinite battle, and the people who are live on each of them, hate each other, and they don't even understand why. There's so much around that is so fruitful for great storytelling. My first impressions of this game are excellent. The first hour or so, I will say, doesn't let you play very much. There's a lot of setup. You don't get to just have this sort of premise without watching a lot of cinematics. I would say you're who is this character and what is this world? So there's a lot of watching, I would say. And I'm just getting to the point now where I'm starting to pick my favorite characters, and I'm starting to understand, okay, now here's what's here. I think I've gotten to my first, here's what's really going on moment, if you know what I mean. So, but the game runs so smooth, and the battle music that you'll hear frequently is excellent. Thankfully, that's when you're getting into, I don't claim to be a JRPG master like many others out there, but the one thing that anybody really can know is the battle music's got to be great. Because you're going to hear it every time. It's not like they've got a battle playlist. You might have a boss song or something like that. But for the most part, every time you jump into a battle, it's amazing, and it's the same song. But what are your thoughts? Speaking of that, Seth, what are your thoughts on the battle system so far? Because they've tweaked a couple things from previous Xenoblade games.
It's really interesting. I would say that the big kind of difference with Xenoblade 3 is the emphasis on class, like on the class system, and the way that sort of unfolds. It's really interesting because the game sort of incentivizes you to like experiment with all these different party makeups and classes, and the way that it like they just keep doling out new mechanics into the battle system. Like I'm still, like I said, I'm like 16 hours in, I'm still getting new things introduced to me all the time. Yeah. And it's like nuts. You have hero characters, you have the Ouroboros, which is basically like two characters can do like a Steven Universe fusion, basically. Yes. And it's sick. Yeah. And there's just it's so deep, and like at first I was like, this game's gonna be too easy because I'm just gonna have like 7 party members. Right. But it's really not. They've balanced it really well. I've already had some like intense battles that have lasted like, 10 minutes. And, I mean, the way I always sort of explain Xenoblade to people is it kind of has like, I mean, these games are about war ultimately. Yeah. All of these games are, these are war stories. And I know it has like the kind of like, anime aesthetic, kind of colorful, whatever, but these are war stories. Yeah. And Xenoblade 3 is probably the most war story in the series. Like, it has that grittiness to it, and that comes through in the combat. Yeah. Like, the combat feels like an all or nothing, like, last-ditch effort. Like, you have to give it your all, and if you don't, you're gonna go down. Like, you have to think about this stuff, and I really appreciate that about this game's battle system.
I feel like they are sprinkling a new flavor on almost every system, whether it's the battle system or even like the collectibles. You're wandering around, you're picking things up. There's a Collectopedia, I think it's called, like, which I love, and like there's not really any need to it, but it does give just another reason to keep wandering around, exploring the world. The side missions have that much more impact on your kind of end result here. But yeah, like the battle system, a lot of people will describe the battle system in Xenoblade as like, it's just an auto attack thing. You just kind of like hover around the enemies and they'll swipe their swords at them. But this time around, and just like in the first Xenoblade as well, like your position, where you stand against your enemy really matters. Yes. So you'll have special arts that if you're behind them, they'll do extra damage, or maybe they'll topple them, or daze them, or put them at a disadvantage. And you can start to combo those together with everybody else's. So I feel like it's anything but autopilot when it comes to the battle system. The timing of it as well. I don't know if this was in the second Xenoblade, but like the fact that when an attack lands, you can double down on it with an art, and you can double down on that with a special art or whatever it's called. So I'm like actively battling, but it's not a button mashing type of thing. And it's definitely not as laid back as say like a turn-based kind of thing either. So it's like this actually really nice balance, and I'm directing my party members around, and it's understandable. Maybe as we talk about it might sound complicated, but they really walk you through, okay, here's the arts, and then here's how you target, and here's how you have your party members do everything that you're doing. So, like, I'm a dum-dum. This should confuse me.
Me too.
But it doesn't. Like, I'm not Dr. Garrett Bland over here with a PhD on the wall playing Switch games. I'm just a simple Canadian. And it all seems to make sense to me. and I'm really liking it. The one thing, Save the Game Media, I think that's Kevin in the chat saying, how much Shulk time is there? That is one thing I was a little worried about. Shulk from the first game, and the Monado, and all of those characters that I spent, about 100 hours coming to know and love. As much as it's a benefit to new players that these are new characters, there's not really a whole lot of carryover from other ones. It's okay. These characters are good too. There's no Shulk, there's no Monado, but unless I think there's an amiibo tie-in that I haven't taken advantage of just yet.
Yeah. I thought that he was asking amiibo. I thought he was asking, like, is there a lot of shouting in the matches? Like,
oh yeah.
Backslash. Yeah. Backslash.
Air slash.
Backslash.
Not only that, but also talking whilst battling. We are going to have a full conversation while trying to kill each other. and I'm here for it, you guys. I love it. The accents are still awful. I am playing with English voiceover. I don't know if I didn't even check to see.
Too.
Typically, I like to play some of these games with Japanese voice acting. Tales of Arise comes to mind. Triangle Strategy for the 2 hours that I played for that. But yeah, like over the top English accents, you know. There's also a very weird scene, Seth. I don't know if you saw this as well. These people, because I guess they only live to be 10 years old in each of their terms and their lives are on the line. This isn't necessarily for kids, if you couldn't really tell. They all bathe together. It's a very weird bathing scene.
There's an onsen scene. Sean, I don't know if you're a big anime guy. That's an anime trope, is the onsen thing. There is an onsen scene in Xenoblade 3 pretty early on.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. You think they're all kind of like just kind of hiding under the water, and one guy just kind of like stands up in somebody else's face?
What are you guys trying to sell me on playing here? What?
I mean, look.
Yeah, well, but let me say this, though, because Xenoblade Chronicles 2, even for me, like, I played that game, I felt like I was getting put on a list somewhere playing that game. Like the waifus and, like, the way they dress those ladies, man, like, it's not okay. Like, it's just not okay. So, and you know, this one, I will say, they not only write the female characters a lot better, but they're dressed like normal people would dress.
Yeah.
It's not like ridiculous for the most part. It's not ridiculous like it was in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. So I actually really like a lot of the women that are in this one. I think they've done a much better job with that.
And above all, like, and this is probably where I could have started, it's just fun to play. Like, it really is, like, and it runs really well. Like, that's one of the things I was a little bit worried about as this world gets bigger and everything's getting more intensive. We're still playing on 2017 hardware. Game looks pretty good. Like, it's not like the highest graphical fidelity that you will see, but it runs perfectly fine. And dude, I've been waiting for something like this where I buy a game day one, which I did, and just love it right off the bat. And I cannot, as I talk about this, I'm even more just wanting to go play it. I can't wait to be done work, to go play more of this thing. And to answer all of the questions, like, I'm stoked that this thing hit, man. So I didn't end up playing Xenoblade Chronicles 2, so my only experience with the series is just the definitive edition, which I adored. So there's actually kind of a high bar here, but if I don't understand what the story's going on or anything else, and if nothing else, like, the game is super, super fun to play. So, Seth, do you have anything else that you want to add to Xenoblade before, or Andros, feel free to jump in with questions you might have too, man?
Yeah, for sure.
I have a question. So, you guys are talking about the class system. What's like your go-to class and why? I guess because I was looking at the trailers and stuff. I found myself very much digging. What's the character's name? Taion.
Yeah, Taion. Yeah.
He had like the best lines in the trailer, man. Like, and
he's cool.
And his like origami magic, that looked cool. That looked cool.
What's funny is, like, you kind of can't and shouldn't be stuck on one class for a long time. The game incentivizes you to switch it up. All of those characters can use all of those classes, and there are ranks to all of those classes and advantages. If they rank up to a certain point, they earn arts and skills that can carry over into other classes. So what I'm doing is, I'll set my party, once they hit max rank with a certain class, I'll swap them out to a different one. And then just, like, everybody's using a new class, so as I'm playing, I'm getting to try everything out. And it's great because I would not normally play, like, the slow, heavy hitter ogre class. I would never play that in a normal RPG. I like the fast, kind of style usually. But because the game is incentivizing me to experiment, and swap all of these people out and try different things, I find myself utilizing a lot of different classes. And I think that's really cool.
Mm-hmm. I'm going to have to report back to you guys next week. I haven't gotten there yet. I think that's what's coming next for me. But it speaks to how this game kind of unfolds itself to the player, which is quite generous, actually, because they really could just throw everything at you at the start. I will say, Well, and it's been like that, and a lot of JRPGs are like that for me, where I go like, I just can't keep up. Like I am trying so hard. I literally sometimes will read the tutorial screen out loud to myself. I'm not streaming or anything, but I will like, because once that's gone, like I need to like really make sure that I understand that. Even that the cancel attack, where you can kind of like double down based on the timing of your attack. I'm like, that seems important. I'm gonna want to know that piece. So I haven't gotten there just yet, and I'm encouraged to hear you say, Seth, that the game actually encourages you to experiment a little bit, because when Garrett Bland and we did our review and spoiler cast of Xenoblade Definitive Edition, and I came to realize like I hadn't changed my party like at all, and his was like vastly different. So my comfort zone is just like whatever the default is. There's so much to change. There's so many things to do. I've typically kind of like not really changed all that much up, but now that you say that, I'm going to be actively seeking like, what can I do? And now, having played the first one as well, and with so much side missions and so much area to explore, I can just go like try things out, I think.
Yeah, and it's great too, because the side quests in this one are like, they're definitely going for like quality over quantity, which is really nice, because you know, in the first and second Xenoblade games, like the first area you get to, you get like 20 side quests, and most of them are just like, hey, kill, 10 rabbits or whatever. And like,
the rabbits,
the classic World of Warcraft, like,
totally,
go collect 10 mushrooms.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Go break like 10 shells off of these crabs or whatever. And like, that's all fine. And I like that to a certain extent. And these games really kind of feel like single player MMOs in a lot of ways.
Totally.
But like in Xenoblade 3, they really do have weight to a lot of the side. You still do have those collection quests, but they've relegated them to that collectopedia you're talking about.
Yes, that's exactly what I was going to say. Yes.
So that stuff just happens naturally.
That's actually like brilliant game design, because it leaves it in there in a way that completionists or people that enjoy that sort of aspect of games. I am not one of those people. I'm like, my Critterpedia and Animal Crossing.
Yeah,
no, that's gonna be empty. But like, there are people that just love going in on that sort of thing and seeing that stuff fill up. But you also don't have to, like, it's there but not.
Having it somewhere else is perfect. Like having it not on the same level as side quests, just like put it, like keep it there, and you get some bonus rewards by turning those things in, which is easy to do. You don't have to go back to a town or anything. You just you register them, I think it is, and that's kind of that. But yeah, man, the game is a really good experience, dude. Even the leveling up experience. This is what I talk about. Like, there's flavor across everything. The leveling up experiences happen typically like you would see. You're done a battle, you get XP, you level up. But then you also get bonus XP that you can then choose on how you can allocate those resources at like different like rest spots throughout the game. And it's like, I didn't know I needed another level up system, but it's awesome. It just gives me that like that little extra boost, a little extra perk. Again, another little extra flavor, not too complicated. There's a lot of systems here, but it's not in a scary way. Again, I'm a simple Canadian boy, and I don't understand most of these things. But I think I'm locked in so far, Seth.
Oh man, and it's like cozy. Like when you go to those rest stops,
yes!
those like campsites, it's so cozy, and they end up adding more stuff to that too. Where eventually your little the Napan will cook like meals that you can use to get bonuses. There's one, the gem crafting from Xenoblade 1 comes back, but it's way more simplified.
Good.
And yeah, it's like, and then they even integrate this interesting thing with side quests where sometimes you'll be walking around in a colony and you'll just hear people like talking, like you can just kind of focus in on them having conversations. And then you unlock a conversation option that you can have with your party at rest stops. Yeah. So you'll sit down with them at a rest stop and you'll talk about the thing that you overheard, and that will unlock a side quest.
Amazing.
It's really cool. Really
yes. Organic. You can start to see how this is potentially a 150-hour game. It's not for everybody, by the way, not to scare everybody off, but like there are reports and reviews that came in that you can mainline it, and it's, a fraction of that. So kind of just depends on how you want to play it. I'm so far so good. I don't have anything else on my Switch that's like vying for my attention. So perfect timing. I've got about a month until Splatoon, I think, and then The Last of Us Part 1, which are obviously the exact same style of game. So we've got a good month here, man. And Andros, I encourage you to get it. I encourage you to like maybe put pause on Breath of the Wild. It's fine.
Yeah,
It'll still be there.
That's what I'm hearing here, Sean.
Yeah.
This isn't for everybody, but Andros, you better buy
Specifically
this
you,
game.
man. Like, what are you even doing with your
down.
life? Yes. What are these
Dude,
decisions?
I'm playing the greatest video game ever made. That is what I'm doing over and over again.
Well, now I feel bad for poking fun at you, man.
No, it's good.
Final thoughts, Seth, on Xenoblade before we run into some news and questions from the friends.
I love it. I love it. I could talk about it all day.
Same.
I guess, you know what, I'll leave you with one final thought about just the music. If I didn't stress this enough earlier, is so phenomenal. Like
this I can attest to being really good, because I will listen to the music day one and it is so good. Xenoblade, the whole series, I love it. Like a fantastic soundtrack, just like Seth said.
Dude, 3 in particular, like Yasunori Mitsuda, again, my favorite composer of all time. You know, Chrono Trigger, the original Mario Party, Chrono Cross. Like, his body of work is like insane, and he has really outdone himself. Like from everything from like the harmonized flute pieces when you're off seeing the husks that you find in the world, it's beautiful. Every area theme is like better than the last. I was streaming it last night, and I literally just had to stop mid-stream. I'm like, oh, just listen to this. Like, just listen to this for a second.
Yeah, I find myself turning up the sound. My family is away this week, so I can like listen to this cranked up. Man. There's a question later on. Actually, you know what? Let's just jump right to it. Where the heck did I see it? It was Brian Eck from Discord said, with Xenoblade Chronicles 3 currently sitting at an 89 on Metacritic, does it deserve to be a contender for Game of the Year? Games rated higher include Elden Ring, Neon White, and Rogue Legacy 2, with God of War Ragnarok releasing later this year. I don't think Xenoblade Chronicles 3 wins Game of the Year, but still pretty cool if it gets nominated. Would be a big win for Monolith Soft. Seth, what do you think, man? Are we talking about, like, I know we're, less than 20 hours in or whatever. I think combined we're 20 hours.
Sure.
Are we talking about a Game of the Year contender with this one?
Well, it's always so subjective, right? Like, it's always so, like you mentioned Neon White. Neon White's probably still my personal Game of the Year. I have a hard time imagining anything beating out Neon White for me. But again, it's all personal taste. I think it certainly is in the conversation for Game of the Year talks, especially like if the story sticks the landing, because they really are. I mean, I kind of got into it earlier a little bit, but like they really are saying something special with the story. They really are tapping into something that I think is weirdly life affirming and weirdly like kind of serious with the story, that I think speaks to the experience of people living in the real world. And even though it's in this like weird anime JRPG, so I think it's possible. I mean, look, I'm looking forward to all that stuff too. God of War Ragnarok, I think is going to be super good, but I think it's certainly for a certain group of people, Xenoblade 3 will definitely be like Game of the Year tier stuff.
And
shout
it
out to
reminds
Neon White, though. It's so good.
And I haven't played that one. That is definitely not at least on the surface. I haven't listened to anybody try to woo me on that game. This reminds me very similarly to, and maybe even same time frame as well, Tales of Arise last year, one of my favorite games that I played. It will remain as maybe one of my favorite games of the generation. Just absolutely amazing storytelling and characters, all the same things that we talked about. I could understand it, so that's always a plus. I would love for these style of games to get their credit. I think it's unfortunate that if you are not into these games, you see them, and I've been there. I've not always been such a weeb, Seth. I've been there, and I've been wondering, like, they kind of look the same, and how do you get excited about like a trailer when it's like, well, it's the music and it all kind of they blend together. But if you play them, they are excellent and definitely deserve to be in that conversation. And if for no other reason, just to create a little, like, I don't know if this is the right way to use the word, but a little diversity in the genres of games that are celebrated in this way. The Game of the Year, like, it doesn't always have to be a God of War or Last of Us or anything like that. Like, we should have like one of the best of the representation from JRPGs and things like that. And I would say the same about racing games. I would say the same about Forza Horizon. I would say the same about sports games like MLB The Show and things like that. Games that like some of us aren't playing. We'd like to see that there. Right. I'm way too early to tell if this is Game of the Year. Oh, was that pointed? Did that sound pointed? I didn't mean it that way, but now I do. So we'll see what you do about that. But Brian asked a good question, man.
I was gonna I think Sean hit it perfectly. That's exactly what I was gonna say for this. I think it deserves to be up there. It will not be. I think it's these JRPGs just get absolutely shafted at Game of the Year, along with a lot of other genres. It seems like they focus very much on the large scale cinematic Western focused type games, and it's unfortunate. I mean, every once in a while we have things break out of that mold and get into there, but and Xenoblade Chronicles 3 should be that, but I don't think it will be, unfortunately. It's
at the very least, like, you know, hold it up, because the thing that ends up happening at the end of every year, which I get really tired of, is people end the year and they go, well, this year sucked, and whether it's like in games or just in life, they're like, oh, I can't, like mark my words, December 31st, 2022, people will be like, oh, I can't wait to get out of 2022, bring on 2023. Like, it happens every year. So maybe a little gratitude for the things that happen, little, like, they're positive. This is one of those things. I hope it gets its credit. But yeah, Xenoblade I will be talking about this game probably for the next month or so until Splatoon at the very least. So appreciate the deep dive, at least early in, man.
I like how Splatoon is going to replace Xenoblade in your
How
in
can
your
it not?
space.
What do you mean? Like, it's like the next game on Switch.
It's like, yeah, those are the same thing.
It's just a time thing.
You're so right. You're so right, Sean. Everything's amazing and nobody's happy.
Nobody's happy. No kidding.
It's true.
Like, we have got so many amazing games on Switch in particular, and nobody is happy with it. I'm like, are you guys? I have never been so overwhelmed with games in my life. Than I am right now. Are you kidding me?
Especially if you're into RPGs, man. It's good. Pat in the chat, Caito. Definitely not going to be getting this one. But I can't wait to talk to her next week and give her the gears, just like I did with Andros here. Top story. I'm halting this conversation. I'm slamming the brakes, as Ryan would say. Slamming the brakes. It's breaking news. Top story, at least in my heart. Finally, Nintendo announces a new Tetris 99 Maximus Cup. You can earn in-game themes from August 5th to August 10th for 10 points each. These include Super Mario 3D World and Bowser's Fury, Miitopia, Mario Golf, The Legend of Zelda, Skyward Sword HD, WarioWare Get It Together, and the Samus Edition. Andros has an issue with this, I think.
New?
I was just going to say.
This is all
nuts?
old ones.
I know, they are.
These are the old.
Hang on.
I would be here. I would be here with you, Sean, if this was a Xenoblade Chronicles 3
right?
theme, which
Doesn't
would make
seem
sense,
like the wrong
right?
timing.
But now it just sort of seems like, hey, we're dying. Here's some themes that we had previously before we kick the bucket.
Here's what upsets me about this. We're sitting here giving Andros grief for playing Breath of the Wild, and then we're gonna sit here and talk about Tetris 99. Like, you still
only for a moment.
Tetris
Like, you just play an hour, man. Get your points. Get your themes.
Thank you, Seth.
Get your themes. Listen. For anybody who's been, because this really isn't the top news. There's much more exciting news than this. I understand that, but this is a bit of an ongoing joke here on the Nintendo Drive. Whenever there's a Maximus Cup, I get excited, and I do get excited. And some people don't really play it. But now is your chance, Lockleth and Chibi in the chat. Now is your chance. Get back into it if you've missed them before. This is very cool, but it is a little weird. They could have done this for months before, but now, like, where's our Xenoblade one? That seems like it would be smart and things you've done before.
This is the funniest thing. I get so excited every time they announce a Tetris Maximus.
Same.
Like, oh my gosh, look at that! And then I never play. Never. Ever play. And I'm always like, oh man, that theme would have been cool to get.
If only they gave you a chance to make up for that lost time. If only there was an opportunity to get the ones that you've missed before. Man, wouldn't that be cool? Wouldn't that be something to get excited about?
Spelunky too. I mean,
okay. Hang on a second. I got to do something here. Hey Siri, remind me to tell Seth and Andros about the Maximus Cup on August 5th at 12 p.m. noon. So I'm gonna message you guys as soon as this thing goes live. My phone will remind me about this. I'm gonna make sure that you guys get up on it. All right?
Yeah. Hey Google, remind me to tell Sean that I did not play the Tetris Maximus Cup.
The next story, the Pokemon Company announced the next Pokemon Presents will take place on Wednesday, August 3rd at 9 a.m. That's tomorrow as we record this today, as many of you are listening. We'll be getting some new information on the next mainline games, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, among other things. Apps, I'm sure, probably going to help us sleep or eat meals or something.
15 minutes.
Tire shoes. I don't know. Yeah. We the Nerdy Andrew in the Discord says what Pokemon Squishmallows will be shown at the Pokemon Direct will be. I mean, that's probably more of a Caito question. Do you guys have any thoughts on the Squishmallow Pokemon crossover? Do you think we'll see anything there at the Pokemon Presents thing tomorrow?
They'll be on the shelf behind the guy that's talking.
Oh, that's a good one.
Like they gotta be,
Good
right?
call.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
I love it.
Good call. Yeah, I don't really... I mean, I want the Gengar one.
Yeah.
I love Gengar. Gengar's been my favorite Pokemon since day one. So I want the Gengar one, but I'm not a Squishmallows guy. Otherwise, I like them. Like, I kind of want... There's a Seth the Red Panda that I kind of want to get. So I kind of want that. But no, I'm going to try to track down a Gengar one. Otherwise, yeah, maybe it'll be here. I hadn't really thought about that. About Squishmallows being there, but yeah, I could see that. I
would
think,
love it.
I think Andros is dead on.
Yeah, just on the shelf there. I mean, it's not going to be too terribly long, so it'll be interesting to see how much time they dedicate to everything. Chibi in the chat is praying for Eevee. Lachlan says Gengar, Pikachu, Togepi, and Storm. I mean, those are the ones. Those are the ones we know about.
Those are Eevee's a lock for sure. There's no chance there's not an Eevee.
You think? So? I feel like Eevee might be too complicated a shape. Like it's not like a round. Like the rest of them are like Snorlax is just it's Snorlax. Like, I want a Wobbuffet. Yeah. I'm counting on a Wobbuffet.
I'm so happy that Pikachu is fat again. Everybody remember 90s Pikachu? Or, I guess wasn't.
Chibi says no shot for Wobbuffet. Man, that's
Wobbuffet would be cool.
That's what I'm saying. It would be so good. It's so easy.
My favorite Pokemon is Cyndaquil, Gen 2 starter. And I feel like he's a good little shape for that. Like a little
Lick-a-tongue. Yeah, Jigglypuff.
Little bean.
If they come out with one that is like a Pokemon I'm really like
Jigglypuff,
really
Squishmallow. Yeah, Chibi.
I might jump in on the Squishmallow craze for that.
That's just it. Like, look, there's endless options here. Let's be honest. So we'll be excited about that. I love that the Pokemon Presents is, most Nintendo podcasts will probably focus on Scarlet and Violet, but here on the Nintendo Drive, what cuddly little toys are we getting?
Can I tell y'all? Can I tell you what my number one hope for this is though? Detective Pikachu.
Damn.
Man.
Yeah. Had it ready. Pikachu. Look at this. Where did that come from?
I still have it on my desk. I did a Pokemon Presents predictions video on our YouTube channel yesterday, so I just still had it on my desk next to me. Where's
yours, Andros? We have ours. Yeah, you gotta.
Detective Pikachu on 3DS, one of the most underrated 3DS games. Period. It's super, super good. And if they announced like in 2018 or something that they were bringing that to Switch, and like they want us all to just forget about it. I'm never gonna forget about it. I predict it every time.
I will not forget.
Every time there's a Pokemon Presents, I will not forget. I feel like it's time. If it's gonna come out, go ahead and put it out. You know what I mean?
I like it.
If you're gonna do a sequel, if you're gonna port the old one over to Switch, just do it, man.
Buckle Puff on Twitter says, in light of tomorrow's Pokemon Presents, what would be your ideal Pokemon spin-off game for 2023 release? Seth, it sounds like we've heard yours. Andros, what do you think, man? What would you love to see?
It's time. Let's return Pokemon Puzzle League.
Yes. Yes. New Pokemon Puzzle League. Yes.
I want a new Panel to Pawn game so bad. Like, why? Why did it die? It's a fantastic puzzle game.
All right, I love it.
Let's do it.
Man, I feel like your guys' answers are I'm looking forward to the play Pokemon to tie your shoes or something, or we've got the brush your teeth, we've got the sleeping app.
We don't have the sleeping app. The sleeping app never came out.
It never came out.
Not yet.
Seth's talking over here about Detective Pikachu, how they announced it, and he's waiting every
Vaporware.
Time.
What?
That's how I feel about Pokemon Sleep.
Oh,
where is it?
Yeah.
I've been waiting to sleep this whole time.
Day and date.
He's still awake.
I'm still awake. I've been awake for 2 years.
Never got to go to sleep. I've been struggling ever since.
Clean. My teeth are clean. I'm brushing great, but how do I sleep?
Yeah,
Someone help me.
We're getting out for our walks, catching Pokemon in real life. Our teeth are good. What else do
I will
we
do
need,
nothing
man?
unless the Pokemon Company tells me to do it. I will do nothing.
Yeah,
Apparently
that's how we operate over at Nintendo.
Oh
Pals,
my
yeah.
gosh, you guys crack me up, dude. Seth, is there anything on the mainline games that you want to see? Like, because for me, to be completely honest with you guys, and again, I'm not like the Pokemon Pro like a lot of people are. I'm sold. I don't need to see anything else. Like, I've decided, like, as soon as they announce this thing, like, I'm gonna be buying this thing. And so yeah, I've got the fire crocodile Fuego. Is that?
Oh yeah,
like
Coco.
he's
Coco is
Fuego.
best.
Let's go, my man. That's what I'm going
That's
for.
the one. That's the one. Quaxley is it's a tough second. So I mean, it's going to be difficult to choose between those two. But like, do you need to see anything else, Seth, from Scarlet and Violet tomorrow?
Yeah, I really hope.
Yes, I do.
I don't know if it's gonna. Yeah, well, yes, I do.
Yeah,
I don't know
wanna
if it's
see
gonna be there tomorrow, but I really think that they kind of owe it to us to elaborate on the co-op. Like, we don't really know that much about the co-op. They kind of just dropped that in the and I literally missed it. Like, I did a live reaction to it, and I literally didn't even pick up on it when I was watching. Like, oh wait, there's co-op. You know, they need to elaborate on that. What does it mean? Are we gonna play it like the story together? Are we gonna have to be in like the same area? Can everybody go out and do their own thing? Like, how does this work? What are the nuts and bolts of this? I think that's what they need to get into.
That is exactly what I was gonna say. Like, I don't need to see.
Yeah, me
more.
too.
I'm sold. Like, I'm for the first time
too.
ever considering buying the double pack. Like,
Oh,
I'm turning into one of those people for this game. Those people. There's no judgment here. You guys are fantastic.
Why are you turning into one of those people?
Because I want to play co-op with my son.
Oh,
like,
there it
I'm
is.
so
Okay.
excited about this. Like, you got
That's
one of
so
us has
cool.
Scarlet, one of us has Violet, but they like basically did like a Metroid Prime 4 and just gave us a tease, you know,
Yeah.
like a little taste, like, hey, there's co-op here. But what does that mean? And unfortunately, due to my history with Pokemon, I'm very skeptical on how well it's going to work. You know, like, they take such small steps forward each iteration of the series that I'm worried that this isn't like actually going to be the online multiplayer that I hope it's going to be, and that's why I want the expectations level set before the game comes out. You know,
It's a healthy
they
place
really
to
need
be.
to come out and go like, boom, this is what it is going to be. Don't expect don't expect all this grandiose stuff. I mean, like, yeah, that's what I want more than anything, is to know more about that, because that is like the dream feature of every game, is that you can play cooperative in a huge world adventure.
Powered by the Switch, we don't have to play our Pokemon games on Game Boys anymore. You know what I mean? Like, we actually have some console power. So, Seth, do you guys or Andrews, do you guys have any other thoughts on Pokemon Presents tomorrow, or we'll tune in, we'll see what happens, keep our expectations in check.
Pikachu or We Riot.
Oh, I was gonna let's go Pikachu, let's go Eevee or
We
We Riot. Let's get a sequel.
That'd be sick. Where's Let's Go Johto? Where is that?
No, there you
You know
go.
what I mean? Where's that?
It's not. It doesn't exist. It's not there. Before we head on into questions, let's talk quickly and remind everybody that finally Nintendo has confirmed that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass Wave 2. That's a whole thing. That is a singular thing. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Booster Course Pass Wave 2 will be launching on August 4th, 2022. The full track list includes the Turnip Cup, which, who doesn't want a Turnip Cup? Tour New York Minute from Mario Kart Tour, the Super Nintendo Mario Kart 3 from Super Mario Kart, N64's Calamari Desert, the Mario Kart DS's Waluigi Pinball, and in Propeller Cup, Mario Kart Tours, Sydney Sprint, the Super Circuit on GBA, Snowland on Mario Kart Wii, Mushroom Gorge, and what seems to be a new one, Sky High Sunday Andros. Discuss, man. This is awesome. Finally.
I'm so excited.
Yes.
I'm so excited. Waluigi Pinball.
Yes.
I'm very stoked for that. Like, they knew we wanted it. I mean, they played the theme song for like half the trailer.
Yeah.
For Waluigi
They really
Pinball.
did. It was so I remember sitting there thinking like, man, they're really hanging on this for a while. Like, some would give you like a quick clip, like a character or two, and they're just like, okay, yep, they know it.
Yeah, they know what they're doing. And then I'm a big fan of Mushroom Gorge as well. And then very pleasantly surprised that we're getting a brand new track.
Yes. It's not what this is supposed to be. It's supposed to be remixes.
Yeah, so I'm excited about that. That one's supposed to also come to tour eventually. So I wonder if it was
is that the deal?
supposed to come to tour
First here.
They were just like, it's not ready.
Maybe that's what it was. What the delay was, because I don't know about you guys, but like I was getting a little bit impatient here. Like, where's Wave 2? We played Wave 1 for a week or two, and then that was it. And we could have used this a little while ago. So yeah, you might be right about that. Maybe the tour one wasn't jumping out for you. Seth, is there anything that jumps out for you in this list, man?
Yeah, I think the Sky High Sunday is really cool. The fact that it's like actually brand new, because I don't know about y'all, I thought that the Ninja Hideaway in the first pack was like instantly one of my favorite Mario Kart tracks of all time.
Yeah.
Like, it was so good. But that one was apparently already on tour and they brought it over. This one is like the opposite. Like, it's new and now they're bringing it to tour. So that's super exciting. I also really was surprised with the first one how much I enjoyed the Mario Kart Tour courses.
Totally.
Like, I
silence
was like,
the critics, man.
Yeah, I was like, these are really good. I mean, you know, like the courses are not what's bad about Mario Kart Tour, as it turns out.
Right.
You know, like the courses themselves are really good, and when you have them in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, like it works really well. So look, I'm hyped. Now I'm just like, we got Waluigi Pinball. Now I just need Koopa Cape and Maple Treeway, and I'm set. That's all I need. I'm good.
We'll have to do at some point a comparison on some. We did what do we want out of this course pass? I'm sure you guys did as well on your shows. We'll do a comparison, but I'm surprised here actually, especially with Waluigi Pinball. For whatever reason, that was not just, I wasn't expecting it. But of the two cups, Turnip Cup jumps out to me, especially. There's just a ton of nostalgia for me personally with the Super Mario Kart, Mario Circuit 3, which looks amazing, and Calamari Desert. Like, that's one of the most unique and just interesting courses back on the 64, but like needed a little extra horsepower on the system. So now we finally get that. It's like, what a weird and funky track with great shortcuts back in the day. So I can't wait to explore that one. And I want to give a special message to our good friend, the Force Minish one, Rebecca on Nintendo Shack. Claimed that the Super Nintendo tracks on Mario Kart 8 Deluxe are no good. I just want to say publicly, I've DM'd her this as well. She's totally wrong. Donut Plains is one of the best tracks ever because the music is amazing and the little water puddles look gorgeous. Really, it is incredible. So shots fired, Rebecca. See about that. Yeah,
what's wrong with them?
That's what I was saying too.
I thought they were really like.
They're amazing.
This Circuit 3 one looks. I'll have to try it before I go. It doesn't look as good as Donut Plains, that's for sure. Like Donut Plains got.
Just bring me back to Super
Plains
Nintendo
got
days.
a glow up.
Oh, big time.
It was like. But yeah, I mean,
the pond.
Oh, it's so good. Like I like grew up on the Super Nintendo Mario Kart. Like it's so fun, and the music is the best.
Yep, that meaty whistle sound, so good.
We're all just here for nostalgia. We're all just here for that nostalgic dopamine. You know what I mean?
That's right, man. We have a couple questions coming on in. Let's jump on into the carpool, and we'll get you guys on your way. I don't think I've seen a question coming in from this person. Presto the Magnificent, I love your name and welcome in. Says, if every game on the planet disappeared forever except one, which one would you want to keep, Andros? What are you keeping around, man? It's got to be Breath of the Wild. It's got to be Breath of the Wild. Why did I even ask you?
Okay, well, move on to set.
Move on to set.
Yeah, it's gonna be Xenoblade Chronicles. This one is like a tough question, really. When you break down, because it's like one game
to rule them all. Mm-hmm. Look at that.
Like Breath of the Wild is my personal favorite game of all time, and I can replay it a bunch, but will it get old if it's the only game?
Yeah, this doesn't sound like a good thing in general.
To that end, I feel like I'd have to go with some like kind of cop-out answer, go with something like Minecraft, you know, because that game like never ends.
Yeah,
you can build and make new stuff.
Digital Legos.
Yeah, something like that, or like Mario Maker, like something that you can continue to make content within the game. Breath of the Wild, sort of can do that. Like the mod community's actually gotten pretty cool in that regard, and so there's more to do with that. So if it had something like that, that would be like easily my pick because it's just so fun, so fun.
Locklith
so
in
I'm
the
gonna
chat.
go with Breath of the Wild.
Well, I mean, nobody's surprised. Locklith in the chat throwing some love for Caito and Animal Crossing, of course, which actually isn't a terrible pick. Like that game is seemingly forever, and for some people, that's how they act as if there's no other game that exists. So there's that. Seth, how about you, man? Where do you? I don't want to live in a world with just one video game, but if you had to choose, what are you going with, man?
Yeah. Well, let me first of all shout outs to Presto the Magnificent, who I actually had to ping in our Discord because he hosts a show called Off the Wah and is a massive Mario Kart fan and specifically was calling for Waluigi Pinball.
Nice.
The intro tune to his podcast is Waluigi Pinball.
Wow, we made it happen.
I was like, somebody check on Presto. So anyway, shout outs to Presto.
Shout out to Presto.
Presto is one of the best community members ever.
Well, there you go. I'm glad he's here. That's awesome.
Yeah.
He's great. But Chibi says Detective Pikachu. No, here's what I'll say. And Andros, I think you can appreciate this answer. My answer is Wii Sports. And hear me out on this.
Wait a second. Can I go back? Can I change my answer? I forgot about Wii Sports.
Yeah.
No, go
here's
for
the
it,
thing. Not because I think the games are like timeless or whatever, but what is crazy about Wii Sports still to this day, and I love the Nintendo Wii, by the way. Maybe my favorite system of all time. I love the Wii. And the thing that I love so much about Wii Sports is that it broke down every single barrier possible. Everybody knows how to play Wii Sports immediately. Like, it's because the Wii Remote is just a remote. Everybody's used one. You got grandparents playing it. You got little kids playing it. So if there was only one video game to exist anymore, have it be the one that everybody in the world can play.
Wow.
Literally.
Selfless.
So that's... Yeah.
Selfless.
That's my...
It really is. It's very like...
Sacrificing. You're sacrificing some big games.
No
That's
kidding.
the one... Like, if I could send a video game up to outer space and be like, hey, aliens, like, don't kill us because video games are good, it would be Wii Sports, because Wii Sports is the one. Again, it united the entire planet, dude.
Wow.
You know? Like, that game is... It's unbelievable. It is the most... I will always say this. It is the most important video game that Nintendo ever released, was Wii Sports.
How do I argue that, man? Yeah.
You don't argue that because it's true. Yeah,
Chibi giving some love to the
so
first
true.
Skylanders. I agree. I've got an entire closet full of Skylanders here.
Skylanders is
Eric, too.
It's not going to be my pick, but Chibi's there.
Sean's like, oh, I got all these Skylanders.
I got all these toys.
I probably should keep them.
Probably just like, what am I going to do with those? Seth is here trying to unite the world. And I'm like, I mean, my personal favorite is kind of like Super Mario 3. Like, how can you not go with Super Mario 3? But I appreciate...
I love Mario 3.
Appreciate your answer, man.
That's a pretty good choice.
It's always like, is it 3 or World? Like, that's depending on the day. That's kind of where I'm at.
3.
Yeah. Oh, snap. 3. All right. Well, definitive.
It's World. Whoa. World.
Oh, my goodness gracious. I think we're going to save the other questions maybe for next week because there's a lot for Caito to dive in on as well. Thank you to everybody for jumping in with the questions. Thank you to everybody here. Active chat here on youtube.com/carpoolgaming. Hit the like button while you guys are still here. Seth and Andros. Goodness gracious, the mega Nintendo event crossover that we've all been waiting for. Somehow, Justin Masson wasn't here. We'll have to get him there next time. Dan and a whole bunch of people. The one thing I will say before I turn over to you guys, like the indie community for Nintendo podcasters and content creators is just amazing. We're all wonderful friends, and we're all here to encourage each other. I enjoy listening and tuning into your guys' content all the time. Closing thoughts and where people can find you. Mr. Seth, close us out, my friend.
Sure. Yeah. No. Just. I mean, to echo what you said. I mean, this has been this indie like Nintendo podcasting scene has been. I mean, it isn't hyperbolic. Like it changed my life. Like I love all of you guys, and like the friendship, the camaraderie, the community has been an absolute game changer for me. And it's just been an absolute pleasure. So again, my podcast at All N Podcast at K&W Podcast. If you want to follow me, I'm at $2 Hero, all spelled out. Yeah, I make a bunch of Nintendo junk online video essay streams. So that's me.
None of that self-deprecating. It's not junk. It's amazing. top tier.
Like he's being humble here. Like it is like some of the best video
Seriously
content on YouTube because
Thank you.
Seth's professionalism you would expect coming out of like IGN or some huge company, but it's just one guy. Well, two guys, but one guy and one beard. Like he's fantastic. Fantastic creator. I highly recommend All In. Everybody check it out.
Speaking of great Nintendo podcasts with two great friends, Nintendo Pals is a podcast everybody should be subscribing to. Andros, please, closing thoughts and where people can find all of your great content.
Yeah, I don't want to follow up after Seth.
I know I should have gone with you first, to be honest. I knew that was going to happen, and I mean, I know Seth.
Sorry.
Listen, I am super thankful to be here on the Nintendo Drive. Like, this is one of my favorite podcasts to listen to. I've listened to every single. I remember when this was actually in a car.
Yes, me too.
That's how long I've been listening.
OG, yeah.
Yeah, but jokes aside, like the Nintendo Drive's awesome. Thanks for having me on, Sean. If you want to check out my escapades in other zones, just search Nintendo Pals. You can find us on every podcast listening app platform for Nintendo Pals podcast, and check out our YouTube channel and Twitch for creative and chaotic streaming.
I love it, man.
Videos. Yeah.
As for me, you can find me on Twitter, at Sean Capri, Sean like Connery, Capri like the pants. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you guys haven't already. If you're on podcast feed, thank you so much. Check out our merch. Links are all in the show notes. Thank you guys so much for being here. That is episode 66, I think. I didn't update the show notes. Thank you guys so much for being here on the Nintendo Drive. And until next time, show some love to Caito. Tell her that we missed her, and tell us in the comments below what Pokemon Squishmallows you want to see at the Pokemon Presents thing that's happening this week. We'll see you guys all next week. Okay, bye. Bye.
Here we go!